Welcome to Sistah's Place Entertainment Showcase. Today we have on our author showcase, Keri D. Singleton. Welcome to the showcase, Keri.
Hey, Latrice. It's a pleasure to be on the show. Shout out to everybody that's listening today. Sistah's Place is definitely the place to be, so I'm definitely excited to be talking with you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate that plug, too.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us about your debut novel, The Wanderer's Game.
Yeah, so The Wanderer's Game was actually written, and I don't tell a lot of people this, but it was actually written in 2006. So actually, technically, the book, at least the story, is now 10 years old. But it was written in 2006. I turned the manuscript finally into a book in 2013. It was released in March of 2013 on my birthday. We had a big book signing / birthday party for myself at a venue in Harlem in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So the book is 3 years old now as far as the public's concerned, but it was just re-released on March 15th, which was my dad's birthday, to Inscriptions Books by the lovely Tamika Kane. And the story is basically about it's a fiction. It's a fictitious story about a kid from South Jersey who moved to New York City to pursue his dreams of being an actor, and he falls prey to the world of male prostitution. So in order to pay his bills and to support himself, he ends up, getting involved in the world of male prostitution. And so it's basically a story about a kid, who's not necessarily a fan of the work that he does at all by any stretch of the imagination, but it's something that he does while, pursuing his dreams, and it's something he keeps on the side. So his girlfriend doesn't know he's doing it. His family back in Jersey doesn't know he's doing it. It's just him and his best friend are, basically navigating that lifestyle, bars, clubs, and doing things strange for the change.
Sounds like somebody got a secret.
He does, yes. Yes, he does.
So what was the inspiration behind the title?
So I wrote a poem called The Wanderer's Game shortly before coming up with the storyline. The Wanderer's Game poem tells the story of, a braggadocious guy who is, traveling from state to state using his body to make money. And I like the poem so much because I'm a poet, so I like the poem so much that it ended up turning it into a book. So many people have asked me, Latrice, you cannot imagine how many people have asked me that I have some kind of story in my own life that's parallel to The Wanderer's Game. No, I do not.
I was just about to ask you.
No, I do not. But, I moved to New York City from Boston in 1996, 20 years ago. And, I came here, working in the music business. I had a job at a record label, when I came here, Palm Tree Records, as a matter of fact. And so I met a lot of interesting people. The rents in New York City are extremely expensive. That was no different in 1996. And so I ended up spending most of my years in New York sharing apartments with roommates and stuff to be able to afford to stay here. And, I mean, without saying any names or anything, certain elements of The Wanderer's Game are collectives of stories of individuals that I met. But I can say that, in all honesty, there's no one particular chapter that is parallel to any one particular person's life. It's just basically like a vegetable soup of sorts of stories that I've either witnessed myself or created with my imagination and put it all together to make this story.
Okay. So how would you describe your writing style?
So with The Wanderer's Game, I decided I wanted to tell the story from the character's point of view. I guess you would call that first person.
Yeah.
So, but I've decided, with subsequent books that I wanted to change it up, and some are narratives. But the Wanderer's Game is told from the perspective of the lead character, whose name is Reggie Watson. And I wanted the reader to be able to kind of empathize with the character's his journey. So I kind of wrote it from his perspective, so that you could be in a situation where you're experiencing the story from his eyes.
Okay, I like that. And it's actually on my reading list, and I can't wait to get my copy.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it.
You're so welcome. Is there a message that you want your readers to walk away with after reading The Wanderer's Game?
Yeah, Latrice, absolutely. So the story is about a guy, as I said, who sleeps with men. Yeah, I didn't indicate that specifically. Yeah, he sleeps with men.
Yeah, you see, I just said, ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? He sleeps with men to, support his lifestyle, his bills, or whatever. However, he's not gay. At least that's the perspective that I have. Of course, it's open to the interpretation of the reader. Some readers have said to me, "Oh, no, Keri, if he has sex with a man, he's gay." But he's not attracted to men. He's not physically attracted to men. He's not emotionally attracted to men. He has a girlfriend. He loves women. He loves his girlfriend. It's just that he chooses to interact with men on the escort level because it's more lucrative. So, but that's not really the main objective of what I want people to get out of the book. Because if you just extract the fact that he's a male escort, say you put in that he's a drug dealer, or maybe that he works at a bank, or maybe that basically it's a story about somebody who's got a dream, who has a dream, and they're going after that dream by any means necessary. So Reggie just happened to decide to sleep with men for money. But it could have very easily been any other type of hustle that a person's not necessarily happy with in trying to get to their ultimate goal, which is, reaching a career goal. He could have been working at McDonald's. He could have been a street sweeper. You know what I'm saying? So actually, the message that I want readers to grasp is not, I don't want them to focus on necessarily the choice that he made, although that's pretty hard to do when that's the topic of the story, the storyline anyway. But I would like the readers to walk away with the fact that if you really put your mind to something and you're determined, regardless of the obstacles that may or may not be in your way, you can, if you're diligent, you can achieve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how does it feel having your first novel published? And I'm sure we're going to see more novels coming from you.
So I self-published The Wanderer's Game for the first 2 years. As I said, it was picked up by Inscriptions Books and re-released this past March. It's been a ride. It's been a fantastic ride. I've always wanted to be a writer, a published writer, I should say. I've always wanted to be a part of the literary community. I think it's a fascinating, unique community of creative people who support each other. So I've been in the music business my entire adult life. And, notoriously, the music business is very fickle. It's very superficial. People are sharks. I mean, not everybody, but in general, it's definitely a hard business. It's a cold business. The literary business, I've always fancied it as being a bit warmer, whereas writers tend to be a bit more interested in each other's works than recording artists. Recording artists generally are very competitive. It seems to me that writers, authors, poets seems to be a more softer collective. Not that there's not that that aggressive need to want to be the New York Times bestseller or whatever. But the literary community seems to be a community that embraces its members a bit more. So it's been very rewarding to be embraced by other writers. The Wanderer's Game stage play, which hit Broadway in October of last year, which was produced and directed and written by playwright Alve Alexander, was a sold-out success, and it was really, really overwhelmingly rewarding to watch a story that I wrote acted out on stage on Broadway. And
wow.
You know, that was an enormous accomplishment. A year prior, in the Wanderers Game's first 12 months out, I was given an award, the Lady Flavor Radio Award in Hartford, Connecticut, for Best Male Author. So it's been embraced. It's gotten 5-star reviews on Amazon and great reviews across the board in different magazines. It has been embraced well, and I'm just blessed and thankful that people have welcomed Keri D. Singleton into the literary world as they have.
Well, congratulations. That is a great accomplishment.
Thank you so much, Sistah. Yes, it's been, you know, you never know with your first book, are people going to like it? But I want to share something else with you if I can. When I first got the first box of books from Amazon, because initially I self-published through Creative Space, which is an outlet of Amazon. So I got the books, a big box of books. I thought it might have been 2 boxes. I pulled one out. I smelled it because the smell of a new book was, you know, I know it's weird, but you know, it was something to me. And I looked at it, right, just like a newborn baby. I looked at it and I fell asleep holding it. Didn't read it, just held it.
Aww.
And then I woke up and I autographed it to myself and I put it in a frame. And at that point, I felt like I was satisfied. I always wanted to write a book, so I had written a book. In my hand was a book with my name on the side and on the cover. The credits were, you know, in the book, you know, dedicated to family and mom, of course, and dad. At that point, I felt like I had accomplished what I wanted to do. I wrote a book. But then the accolades that the book got was a whole other set of emotions altogether. So yeah, it's been quite a ride, and I definitely look forward to the Wanderers Game being even more of a success now that you know, it's in the hands of Inscription Books, and of course, you know, the forthcoming book, which will be coming out in October on Inscription Books, which is called Idol. I'm excited about that. So.
Ooh, all right now. So, who are some of your literary influences, and why?
So the Wanderer's Game is loosely, I don't want to say it's loosely based, but it's definitely inspired by a book that I read many years ago. I read in the year 2000. It's called City of Night. City of Night is a book that was written by an author named John Recchi.
Okay.
And it's about a kid from El Paso, Texas, who travels around the United States sleeping with guys. And visiting the cities that he, I guess, works in. But it's more than just a story about a homosexual guy who sleeps with men. It's a story, it's an adventure story. So every place that this guy, who doesn't even have a name, he's not even, I think that John Recchi was brilliant in the way that he designed the story so that the character's name is never used.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome the way that he wrote it. But it's a journey, and aside from what he's doing, it's almost as if the sleeping with guys is a mean to an end, and that end is traveling the country. He grew up poor in El Paso, and he wanted to get away from, you know, his dysfunctional family. Very similar to Reggie Watson in the Wanderers Game. And he just travels the country in this fascinating, the things that he experiences in New Orleans at Mardi Gras, and the things that he experiences in the back alleys of New York City, and in the wide expanse of Griffith Park in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? So it was just a fascinating experience, a fascinating story to read, and you're traveling with the character through their story. And so I wanted to write a book where my readers are traveling to places they may have never visited. So Reggie does a lot of cross-country rendezvous, and I made it a point to be very descriptive so that the reader could feel as if they're in Baltimore, or feel as if they're, walking the streets of Atlanta, or the different cities that Reggie Watson visits. So I'd have to say that I was definitely influenced for that particular book by John Ritchie's style of writing. Also, great authors like Maya Angelou. I've always been a fan of hers. I had the pleasure of meeting her once briefly at an autograph signing session in New York City many years ago.
Okay.
And then my mom is a great influence because she's a writer also, not a published one, but she's always been a lover of the art of writing.
Okay.
And so, I think I take a piece of my mom's work and Claude Davis and, Claude Brown, I'm sorry, great African-American writers, as well as John Ritchie, who I believe is Mexican, American, and Caucasian.
Okay.
But,
Okay, great. Those are some good influences.
Thank you.
So are there any other projects coming down the pipeline? I know you mentioned another book coming out in October for you for the rest of the year.
Yes. So the film adaptation of The Wanderer's Game is scheduled for sometime this year. Film director Brian Casey has The Wanderer's Game on his list of films that he wants to create and put out. He's based out of Rhode Island. His film company is called BC Films. He's won several New England area film festivals, and he had tapped me on the shoulder a year or so ago about doing a film for The Wanderer's Game. So, at this time, that's something I'm definitely excited about. So, in addition, the second book, Idol, is on its way out in October. Idol is the story of Renee Starr, a fictitious superstar who has a fan who's deeply in love with her, who she meets in their hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And, he falls in love with her. She has a boyfriend who manages her, who is an abusive boyfriend, but is her boyfriend nonetheless. She's afraid to leave him because he's controlling her career. So she tolerates his abuse, both physical and emotional, while using her number one fan as a boy toy to pacify her emotional and physical needs. So it's like a love triangle that happens. And the ending is pretty unexpected.
Shocking.
Very.
Oh, wow.
So already I have a film crew out of Atlanta that's interested in turning that into a film. And Alvey Alexander, who did an awesome job on The Wanderer's Game stage adaptation, has expressed an interest in turning Idol into her next play. So, yeah, we're working.
That's good. Yep, that is good. Congratulations. That is wonderful for an author to accomplish. So how can our audience learn more about you and follow you on social media?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very accessible. So on Instagram, everybody loves Instagram. I can be reached Keri D. Singleton, Kerid Singleton, Singleton, one word. Twitter and Facebook, Keri D. Singleton as well.
Okay.
And I guess that's it. Yeah, I don't have any. I need a website. Lord knows I need a website. Everybody keeps telling me. My social strategist tells me. My peers tell me, you got to get a website. But
yes,
I'm working on it. But for the meantime,
yes,
you can get me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and easy to find and definitely very accessible. And I love social media, the ability to network and share ideas and exchange ideas and, potentially even work together. It's an awesome medium. So, yeah, let's network.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to connect with you on social media.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll see a friend request from me on Facebook, and I'll connect with you on Twitter and Instagram. I love it.
Thank you so much.
I love
wonderful.
It. Amazing.
I love Sistah's place. This is great. It's a great place to hang out, even if you're a brother.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.